Hello everyone, I'm Haley Henahan with Littlesleepersanddreamers.com and I am your pediatric sleep consultant. In our video today, I am going to be talking about a bedtime routine for infants. In my last video, I went over a bedtime routine for newborns, so if you didn't get a chance, go ahead and check that out right here. This will go over all the steps you need to do if you aren't sure how to complete a bedtime routine to get your child ready for sleep. A bedtime routine is the foundation of setting up your child for a great night's sleep. So let's get started. So you want to make sure that you are starting your bedtime routine at the appropriate time for your child based on their age. If you are unsure of what time that should be, go ahead into the description below and grab the free schedule I have. Click the link and you will be answering a couple quick questions and it will give you a free schedule for your child based on their age. This will help give you an idea of what time you should be starting bedtime routines so they can have a good night's sleep. Bedtime routine should only be about 30 minutes, so it should be started 30 minutes before the time they need to go to bed. You want to make sure that your child's room is the best environment for sleeping. So you want to make sure that it is completely dark. That means when you close the door, shut the curtains, and let your eyes adjust, you won't even be able to see your hand. It is dark. You also want to make sure that you have a sound machine. This will help calm your baby. It'll help remind them of the sound they heard in the womb and just relax them through the night. So you definitely want to make sure you have a great sound machine. And the final thing is you want to make sure that the room is cool enough. This is probably a step that parents don't think of as often, but you want to make sure their room is between 68 to 72 degrees. That's the recommended range that will be perfect for your child. Some pre-bedtime routine tips are to get outside before bedtime. Get outside to have the fresh air, to run off some more energy, and to even have them notice that sun setting. The sun setting will help signal to their brain to start producing melatonin, which is what they need to go to sleep and stay asleep. Another very helpful tip is to shut off the TV, electronics, all types of screen that has blue light at least an hour, even 2 hours before bed. This will help their brains get ready and settled for the night. So as I mentioned earlier, bedtime routine should really only be about 30 minutes. It should not be this long, drawn out procedure because then your child cannot really get that true signal that they are needing to get sleepy and prepared for a good night's sleep. You want to get them tired, get them ready, and then put them down to bed. You don't want to drag it out as long as possible. So 30 minutes is a great goal. If your child is in the age where they are having really bad separation anxiety and just really are clinging to you, you can add a little bit more time, no more than 45 minutes, but a little longer of just bonding time, spending time with your child in their room, letting them know this is a safe place for them to get to sleep. So in that case, you can have it a little bit longer for the separation stage. Now let's get into the actual routine steps. So the first thing you want to do is give them a bath. This warm water will help to relax their bodies. You only want this bath to be about 5 to 7 minutes. As I said, you don't want the routine to be long and drawn out. So a quick little short bath is all they need to help get their body prepared and ready for bed. If you don't want to do a bath every night, that's fine. You can just do a quick wipe down, and that will also help signal bedtime as well. So it's your choice if you want to do a bath every night, every other, whatever works for your family. But some type of wipe down will help prepare them for a good night's sleep. So after their bath, you're going to take them into their room and put a fresh diaper on and then give them their full feeding. You want to make sure that they are fully awake. So not putting their pajamas on right away will help keep them wide awake for this feeding. That you don't want to have them associate sleep and feeding at the same time. You want them fully awake for this feeding. So after they are finished their full feeding, that's when you bring them back to the changing table and give them some lotion or coconut oil, some kind of thing that can massage into their skin and just help them relax further. After you put on the lotion, then you can put on their pajamas, and if they have any little teeth, grab a toothbrush and start teaching them how to start brushing their teeth. You want to get their teeth nice and clean, so get that process started as soon as you see a little tooth in their mouth. After brushing teeth, you can read them a story, no more than 1 or 2. And yes, even if you might think, my child's too young for stories, why am I reading to them? They can still be interested. They will look at the pictures. They will take things in. Hearing your language is so beneficial. So you do want to start the routine of reading to them. After you read to them, you can sing a song and then put them in their crib and say your phrase. You can have a simple phrase like, good night, or night night, I love you, it's night night time, it's sleepy time, whatever little phrase or two you want that you say every night to help signal like, okay, it's gonna be time to go to sleep. After you do that, then you're going to turn on their sound machine, make sure all the blinds are closed, and turn off the light. Now for my son, we also have a fan going, so you might want to turn on a fan if that is what your little one will want as well. And then leave the room. Now this is the time that if you are sleep training, your child is in their crib and you can start sleep training. If your child has not been sleep trained yet and you are looking for a consultant to help you, please go ahead and email me. You can find my email address below in the description. So let me know in the comments below, what do you guys do for your bedtime routine? What works for your family? Are you able to keep your bedtime routine within a half an hour? And also I want to mention, sometimes you might be doing your bedtime routine and it might be going well, but as you start to sit down to read the story, you notice my child is rubbing their eyes, arching their backs, getting a little fussy. They are well beyond tired. So at that point, you want to skip the story that night, get them in their beds because you don't want an overtired baby. So it's okay if you need to do a quick version one night just to help them out a little. So look for some sleepy cues as you are getting them ready and get them into their crib when they need to be sleeping. The last thing I want to touch on is night feedings. So when your child wakes up and needs to feed, you want to make sure that you come in, have the lights dim still. You don't want to come in, flip on the lights, start talking to them, and have them think it might be the middle of the day. You want them to understand that it's still nighttime, and then after the feeding, they are going to be going back to sleep. So keep the lights dim, and also something that might not be well known is your cell phone has blue light. So while you're feeding your child, they might be receiving that blue light into their little brains, which is telling them not to make the melatonin that they need to get back to sleep. But also for you, it's going to be harder for you to get back to sleep, especially if you know your child is going to be having another night feed and you're going to need to be up soon. You're going to want to be able to go back to bed and fall back asleep quickly. So I know it's going to be super hard, but my challenge to you is to not use your cell phone during these night feedings, as it will help both you and your child get back to sleep a lot quicker. You also want to make sure that your child is fully awake for this feeding. This is not a feeding where they start to eat and then their eyes close and it helps them fall back to sleep. That is setting them up for a poor sleep habit, so you want to make sure that your child is awake the whole time, okay? If they start to fall asleep as you're feeding, as most infants, especially the smaller they are, will, you can do all sorts of tricks. Take off their pajamas, tickle their feet, stroke their face. There's lots of little things you can do to just keep them awake as they feed. After they feed, you're going to put them back in their crib and continue with your sleep training techniques. I hope this video is helpful, giving you a step-by-step of what to do for your infant as they do their bedtime routine. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to connect with you and answer anything that you have. If you were looking for a consultant and need a sleep training plan, go ahead and email me at littlesleepersanddreamers.com and we can get started. If you like this video, please go ahead, give a thumbs up, and also subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you will be notified when more videos come to this channel. If you have an older child that is a toddler or preschooler, I am going to be making a video next week all about a toddler and preschooler bedtime routine. Now, if you watched my earlier one, you will notice that the newborn and the infant routine are fairly similar. But when your child gets older and becomes a toddler, there are going to be some changes. So make sure you catch that one next week. I'll see you next time. Sweet dreams.